Thank you for joining me once again. It is a Friday, and you did the right choice by tuning in here on Fame Unfiltered. I am your host, Dianza Dlamini. Our guest today, she's got a beautiful soul, and it is very impossible not to love her, and that is Chantelle Makhaya. If you do not want to miss her interview, make sure not to go anywhere because it is coming right up. Today in the studio, I have mentioned that we have a wonderful woman. This lady, she's impossible not to love. Everybody just loves her, and that is Chantelle Makhaya. Are you good, my dear?
I'm fine, thank you.
I am good too. Who's Chantelle Makhaya? Because we know that you're just a woman that everybody loves. Just tell us more about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Chantelle Makhaya, well known as my Mlungu. Everyone likes calling me that of lately.
Yes.
I was born in Zimbabwe, but raised in Swaziland with my mom and my granny.
Okay.
I have 4 brothers.
Wow.
I'm the only girl in the family. Even the cousin side, I'm the only girl. Yes.
Okay.
So I did all my schooling in Swaziland. Primary and high school and tertiary, all in Swaziland.
Yeah, I've been wanting to ask, Uti, what are you in between Noma and Eswatini Skulu?
Okay, half, because my mom's family, they're colored.
Okay.
Then my father's side, they're British.
Oh, okay.
So I fall more on my father's side because my brothers and them, they're all darker than me. They take after my mom's family, which they are colored. Yeah.
So meaning you speak more than one language?
I speak English only.
Oh.
And 20% of Siswati when I'm angry.
Okay. I wonder how that sounds. Because now you're saying that half is British. I thought maybe you also know the language from that side.
No, I don't. Because I didn't grow up there.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So how many kids do you have?
I have 2 boys. One I had before marriage.
Okay.
And then when I got married to Shaga, I had 1 in marriage.
So are you planning to have a basketball court of kids?
No, definitely not. We're just done and dusted.
Okay, you've heard she's done and dusted. I would also want to know is, how did you meet you and Shaga? Because from sources I hear that you guys met via Facebook. I don't know if that's still happening nowadays to meet someone online. I'll just say Facebook. Yes, I did meet on Facebook. Just confirm that.
Yes, we did meet on Facebook. And what actually happened, I went to a spin show that he was hosting in Manzini, and he saw me there with my brother. So he was scared to come up to me because of my brother. Then later on in the evening, he went on Facebook, and it happened that I just popped up onto one of his requests. Then he accepted the request, and from there, he started his sort of, in summary.
Because you know, sometimes I work with your husband, and every time Nasi takes a break, I'm telling you, Chantelle. Every time we take a break, it's about Chantelle. Because I think he told me a story that when you guys were still dating, because we were still into spinning, with spinning, forget.
Yeah, it's true. I rejected him for 3 months.
Oh, because of that?
Yeah, I said to him I don't date spinners because of the reputation they gave themselves. You understand? They sleep with women, they drink, they party, all those things. So that's not what I planned for my life, you understand? But then as I got to know him, I realized that he's different from the others,
So does he still do spinning women?
No, he does. No, he does that. I support him because it's a hobby of his, and it's a way of him to de-stress. So he does spin sometimes. Unfortunately, that it needs money. It requires lots of money. You understand? But now he's got other priorities, which is business and family. So he can't just spend money anyhow.
Okay, I also know that you have love for children. You're actually a teacher. How did that happen? How was it? Is it a nice environment or it's hectic?
Okay, it's hectic.
Can you imagine?
You need lots of patience and love for children. So this is how I got into teaching. I was in high school. I happened to fall pregnant when I was doing my last year of matric. So I had to drop out of school. I delivered my baby. After that, I was in Baban visiting a friend, And then there's this lady that came up to me and said, Chantelle, wouldn't you like to come and teach at my preschool? I'm opening a preschool. And I said, okay, I would love to, because I am doing nothing. Let me just see where this goes.
Yeah.
So when I started the preschool, then I went back to school so I could get my matric. So I was working and doing night school at the same time. Once I completed my matric, then the lady says to me, you know what, I can see that you're starting to love teaching preschool kids. Don't you think you want to further your career? And I said, I would love to. Then she took me to a college. She had paid for it for me, and that's where I got my certificate for early childhood. Nice. Yeah. So from there, I believe God sent that woman to me to introduce me to become a teacher, because I didn't know what I wanted to be. Even when I was in matric, I just didn't know what I wanted to be. So I believe she was sent to me for a reason, and that's how I became a teacher. And then I just carried on from there, studying.
So are you always, is it your long-term plan, or eventually you want to progress into teaching, I don't know, primary, high school kids, or it's just...
I am at the moment teaching primary. I teach grade 1. I'm more into the foundation phase. So I enjoy teaching grade 0 and grade 1 students, because I love building the foundation for the children. Yeah, but never high school. No, I'm too short.
I know you also have like a part-time interest, but I don't know if you're still really into it, which is cooking, because I know at some point you actually did a charity event with you and you assisted with the cooking. Is that something that you do aside, or now you just do when you're at home cooking for a family?
Okay, I did own a cooking company, catering company called Food Gallery. Okay. I do have a passion for cooking, but I don't have a passion for cooking for numbers, like for functions. So it's more private for home when I have visitors and for family functions. But I enjoy cooking. It's a hobby that I love, and that's where I take all away my stress. That's my comfort zone, cooking.
So are you planning to further it, or right now you're just taking your time and see what happens?
No, I'm never going to further it. It's going to stop there.
Let's just stop there. Okay, viewers at home, that is Chantelle Makhaya for you. We'll be right back. We are in the studio with the lovely Chantelle Makhaya. Chantelle, before you became Mrs. Makhaya, was getting married always your, what can I say, your dream? Because every young woman, eventually they want to get married. Was it always like that for you?
Yes, it was. Before I got married to Shaga, I was engaged. I was dating some guy. Before I dated that guy, I was engaged. I was engaged to the father of my child. But unfortunately, things didn't work out. He was an abusive person. So I had to let go of that relationship in order to save myself and to save my son as well. After dating that guy, breaking off the engagement, I dated some other guy for about a year and a half. Then Shaga came into the picture.
While you were still
I was still dating this guy, but this guy was going back to South Africa. He was a South African, so unfortunately we also had to terminate that relationship.
Okay, you mentioned that before you got married, you were in an abusive relationship. I know that a lot of women, they go through that, and there's probably an intense, different level of it. If you do not mind, would you like to share how deep was it for you and how were you able to come out of it? Because now there's this movement of women just standing up for themselves and just saying, no, enough is enough.
Yeah. Okay. The relationship was going very well when I was pregnant. When I delivered the first year, it was okay. Until one day we had an argument and he slapped me. He made it seem it was my fault, which I accepted. Maybe I told myself maybe I was not meant to make him angry. I pushed him that far. That's why he hit me. I forgave him, went back to him. Second time, when the house again, we're arguing about money because he wasn't working and I was working and he wanted money for something, which I couldn't give him because we had other priorities in the household. He was so angry at the extent that he broke the TV, he smashed the TV, he beat me, he fisted me, he shoved me to the wall, and I left. And again, I went back. I forgave him because of brainwash. You seem to blame yourself. Like if I had just given him that money, we wouldn't have gotten into that mess, you understand? And then when I drew the line was the third time, again, he was requesting for money, and I didn't really have that time. And I said to him, I'll try and make a plan to get the money so you could pay whatever you had to pay. And a switch went off. He hit me, he gave me a fist, he pushed me against the wall, he locked the door, he threw me on the bed, he went to go get a knife, and he put it against my neck, and he says to me, you're not going anywhere today. Today's your last day. And my child was there in the corner crying. I'll never, pardon? Was the child, yes. He was 1.5 years. He was there, he was crying. Then I told myself, I need to get myself out of the situation. I had pushed him, I grabbed my phone. He says, you can phone anyone you want. No one can come and save you. And then I don't know, for some reason, he went back to the kitchen to get whatever. And that was the time I managed to unlock the door and I ran to my next door neighbors. And they locked me in the house. I left my child. I couldn't take him. There was no time to take my baby. So I left and I went to the neighbors and they called the cops and they came, but he wasn't there, he had left. So that's the time where I actually drew the line and said, I'm not going back. If this is the third time and he's threatening my life, that means he's never going to stop. He's only going to stop when I'm in the grave. So although it was very painful to leave, because at that age I was young, I was only 19. I loved that guy because I met him from high school.
From high school, there's that attachment.
That attachment, a child together. Yeah. But I had to break free from him. It took me 2 years to get over him, to get over his love and everything. Yeah. He came back with promises. He apologized. He did all these amazing things that they would do. But I just said, no, it's not worth my life.
Okay. No, I think because with other women that probably, as you saying what you're saying right now, there's actually someone who's actually in this situation right now. And as you said, first time you leave and then they say sorry and then you blame yourself and then you go back again and it just becomes a cycle. But the thing is with you, for others, it takes longer. It can take 5 years, 10 years. But for you, you were able to get out as soon as you can. Where did you get the strength and courage? I'm sure also you thought about your kids, that you know what, you do not want your kids to be into this.
My mom and my brother really helped me get through it the most. They're very supportive. They're very supportive. You do need a support group when you're in a situation like that. You really do, because it's not easy to get out by yourself. I actually didn't want to go back to him after the third time. I was wanting to go back. My mom said, no, just don't go. You won't come back. If you go there, please know that you're going forever.
What was the process of healing before you decided that I'm going to say yes to Shaka, I'm going to marry him? How long was the healing process?
Oh, it was 3 years.
It was 3 years.
It was a good 3 years, yeah.
At least, yeah, you did take your time. Did you ever think that you'd actually be in another relationship, or you just believed in love, that I will find someone that will treat me good?
I believed in love, and I believed that I would get married again, but chances of choosing a man would be very, like, the standards would have to be very high. They have to tick all my boxes in order to get me,
So right now, in the state that you're in, do you know any other women that have been through what you're going through? And have you spoken to them or advised them that you've also been through this? Because I'm sure that I did see a post where on Facebook you mentioned where you were thanking your husband for being such a good man and that he accepted all your flaws, that you're from a broken relationship. Are there any other women that you are aware of that you have tried to assist?
No, I just see posts on Facebook, and then I would some of them I would inbox them privately to share a word with them also, and also keep them in prayer, because it's also very difficult to give advice to someone that's actually in love with the man. You understand? It's very difficult because as much as you can give, they're still going to turn a blind eye, you see, and continue with the relationship. The person will have to decide for themselves that they are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
They have to decide.
They have to decide.
Okay, thank you, Chantelle. Viewers at home, we will be right back. We are back, and in the studio we have Chantelle Makhaya, and she's been sharing her life testimony, what she has been through, and she's also been in a state whereby she was also in an abusive relationship, but she managed to get out of it. And I know that some women out there are in such a situation and they're battling to get out of it. Chantelle, what advice do you have for someone that's currently in that situation?
My advice is to get out.
Yeah.
To get out because the man is never going to change.
So what are the signs to spot that my child is being abused in a relationship?
Withdrawals from the family, not attending functions.
Yeah.
Every time your mom checks up on you, you just make an excuse, I'm fine and everything's good. Yeah. Those are the main excuses, but you're actually never fine.
So why is it that goes on in their mind? You guys go into depression. Does the thought of just ending your life ever come?
It does, but then you, especially if you've got a child, then you can't settle for suicidal because you have someone else's life that you have to take care of. All I can say is that you need to just, you'll find strength to move on, because there's a point where you do get really tired, like I am out of this. And especially if you have a support group from some, like family or a friend who can just be there by you and advise you all the time until you finally hear and also open your eyes.
Okay, for someone that just got out of an abusive relationship, what advice do you have for them before they decide to take on a path of going into another relationship or going into marriage?
They must heal, and the process of healing must really be long. It must be a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
They must really heal.
So
find themselves.
What did you do for yourself to heal? As you said, go into prayer and counsel yourself.
I was just my son and I was working, I was schooling, looking after my child, so I didn't have any time for relationships. I didn't. And anyway, even if I did, they wouldn't last long.
Exactly.
You see, because I still had that fear that if I let this person into my life, they're going to do exactly the same thing the other man did. So most relationships don't even last long. You find yourself that you're in and out of relationships, which is actually not good for you. And if you do introduce your boyfriend to your child, it's even worse, because you don't want your child to keep seeing men in and out, you understand? But you will get those relationships because you're emotionally starving, you understand, for attention and for love and all those things. So you get sometimes also into the wrong relationships. Exactly. So all you have to do is try. I believe you must just find hobbies.
Yeah, to distract yourself.
To distract yourself and to use your time wisely. Then get into bad relationships.
Okay, thank you, Chantelle. So anyone that just wants to communicate with you now that they've heard your story, they think that, you know what, I think it would be nice just to have a talk with Chantelle. What are your social media handles? How can one get hold of Chantelle?
Okay, I'm on Facebook as Chantelle Makhaya, and the same with Instagram as Chantelle Makhaya. You can inbox me on either one of them. Always available.
Thank you, dear. It was such a pleasure having you here, and actually we're honored that you were able to share your story, and I know that whoever's watching have also been assisted, because I know right now there's a great movement of women just standing up for themselves and saying no to abuse. Viewers at home, that was Chantelle for you. And as again, if you know someone that's in a situation that's being abused and you can see the signs, I know that is hard to tell someone to leave, because at that point of time they are blindly in love. But if you are in that situation, you've heard Chantelle, get out while you still can, because he will never change. This is Fame Unfiltered, and I am your host, Tianza Dlamini. Good night.